Okay, so finding fallacies in people's writing. First of all, a fallacy again is an untruth. It's deceptive. It's trying to argue a point or persuade you of their viewpoint or their claim, again, by using erroneous or false statements. The first fallacy here is slippery slope. Remember, it's trying to say that one action will lead to very serious consequences. It's exaggerated. So when we see here, they talk about marriage, and if we change what marriage is, eventually people will, maybe men will marry his dog. So clearly an exaggerated consequence. Either or a false dilemma. They're trying to argue that there are only two possible alternatives. It's also been called black or white syndrome. So either you're with us or you're part of the terrorist group. That is a false dilemma. Ad hominem arguments. You are trying to turn the argument against the person as opposed to talking about the facts. You're attacking the character of someone. So in this example, you are not an Ignatian educator. This was said by a parent who's Jesuit, meaning that the educator doesn't have the Jesuit beliefs, attacking that teacher, therefore they're not a good teacher. Appeal to false authority. It's when your claim cannot be adequately anchored to the cited authority, and what that means is that the authority really doesn't have any trust or credibility. So an American politician cites the U.S. Constitution as an ultimate authority, but the claim cannot be anchored in the document. What that means basically is that the politician may not have the authority to know what exactly the Constitution and is it the ultimate authority. So that politician may not be the correct person to talk about the Constitution. Okay, with hasty generalization, you don't have enough evidence to draw the conclusion. So you're jumping to a conclusion. Sometimes it's also known as stereotyping. So for example, English teachers are grammar Nazis. They're jumping to a conclusion or stereotyping. And this one clearly is a stereotype. Women are bad drivers. In circular reasoning, you're starting with the end and you're proving the beginning with an end. So, for example, Michelle didn't steal the ice cream sandwich because she's an honest person. You're really not explaining. You're starting with what you want to say here is that she's an honest person, therefore she didn't steal it. That really doesn't provide enough evidence. My son's an A student. How can he have a B in the course? Again, you're starting with the end to prove your point. In what we call post hoc, you're assuming that one incident caused the second incident. So Bertha worked on her essay longer than she had worked on any other, therefore she expects an A. Just because she worked harder doesn't necessarily mean that she will earn an A. So there's some faulty logic in there. And here again, when Kelly walked into the classroom, Mr. Villarreal burst into tears. There might be absolutely no correlation between Kelly walking in the room and him crying. The red herring is when you try to draw attention away from what's relevant in your argument to something completely irrelevant. So you accuse me of cheating on my income tax, but doesn't everyone cheat a little? So you're taking away from that he's cheating. He's trying to divert the attention to everyone else.